and welcome to the Autocar show. Ever since the Volkswagen Vento was launched, we've been pitting it against its competitors. Now, you saw the diesel duel, where there were loads of cars in the fray. But in the petrol segment, it's a little different. There's only one strong contender that the Vento has to dislodge. That's the Honda City. It's been ruling the roost ever since its launch. Primarily because it's a strong and efficient engine, it's a comfortable car, it looks good, and of course, there's that peace of mind with the Honda badge. Well, when it comes to price, the Vento spec for spec, top end to top end, is actually 82,000 rupees cheaper than the Honda City. Now, despite being expensive, the Honda City has managed to keep the other competition at bay. Does the Vento really have everything else it needs to beat the City? Well, we'll just have to find out.
Parked alongside each other, the Vento looks lower and wider, which it is. Still, it's really the City that catches your eye. The now famous arrow shot design is distinctly edgier, and there's more character to the City's look. Inside, it's the same story. Whilst the Vento is straightforward and simple, the City's orange backlighting and angular dashboard steal the show. Plus, there's loads of cubbyholes and storages, which the Vento lacks.
Now, once in the City, there's no music system, as you can see. There's just an auxiliary port and the USB jack. The Vento gives a music system, but no auxiliary port. Now, it's quite incredulous as to why these cars have done this. But I have to say, overall, it's really the quality of the Vento that jumps out at you. The texturing on the dash, the switches, the knobs, the dials, even the steering wheel. It just feels top quality. Now, this Highline version that we have is automatic. Now, I don't want to compare the automatic with the manual. It's got to be manual for manual. So I'm going to get into the Trendline, the base version, and drive that one.
Now, on paper, it looks like the Vento's engine may have a disadvantage. But the Vento disguises its shortcomings really well, with shorter gearing and a healthy 15.6 kgm of torque.
The Vento's engine responds to jabs on the throttle really well, but florid, especially at low revs, and it feels like the engine has gone to sleep, and then after a while it wakes up and then gets going. Takes a bit of a while. Basically, this engine's all about driving easy, cruising. It just doesn't like to be rushed.
The Honda engines have always impressed, and it's really tough to match up to the City's engine. Everything the Vento did, the City did just quicker, better, and in a more refined manner.
Once you're put on the throttle and there's immediate response, the engine revs all the way up to 7,000 RPM, and the beauty of it is that it does it in a really smooth, calm manner.
The Vento, unfortunately, has to work really hard to keep up with the City, and it requires more gear shifts. The gearbox is nice and snappy, so it's really easy to work with. But more than anything else, the City's advantage comes in when we look at the fuel efficiency figure. The City's clever VVTi engine combines punch and efficiency well. Performance is one thing, but a car also has to handle well and still be easy to drive in our traffic conditions.
I thought the City steering was light, but the Vento steering feels even lighter, and sometimes it tends to feel over-assisted. It just takes the fun out of cornering in this car. But the thing to really remember is most of us are going to be driving in city traffic most of the time, and there, this steering for nipping in and out of the traffic feels nice and light and easy.
The Vento, however, has better body control and finally offers more grip. The City may have a better steering that offers more feedback, but it's really let down by its narrow 175/65 tires that let it lose grip quite easily.
The backseat of the Vento feels really spacious, but you sit quite low. There's a lot of width, but the third passenger may not be really comfortable because there's this central tunnel that sort of widens out at the back, so putting his or her feet in may not be that comfortable in the long run for the third passenger. As far as the ride quality is concerned, it's very pliant and soft, but a tad too soft, I think, for our kind of roads, because on the uneven tarmac that we have, you tend to bounce around and get tossed around in this back seat. The back seat is really comfortable in the city. You've got good under-thigh support, and even 3 people can fit in quite easily, though the central console is far back. It doesn't really intrude into the leg space. As far as the ride quality is concerned, it is on the firmer side. It's sort of hard and clunky, especially at low speeds. You do thud around quite a bit. But once you get up to speed, this ride feels a little bit more consistent. It's not maybe that pliant, but it's flatter, so you don't get tossed around and you don't bounce around in this back seat. The only thing that I really don't like is the amount of road noise and suspension noise that filters through into this back seat. Leave a bottle of water actually in the boot, and you can hear it slosh around in this back seat. Insulation really isn't the strength of the seat.
So, which one should you buy? Each one has its pluses and minuses. Should it be Japanese refinement or German build quality? It's all pretty confusing.
Well, it's such a closely fought battle that you're going to be left scratching your heads and wondering which car to buy. Well, that's what I'm here for, to clear the clutter for you. Now, after going through it with a fine-tooth comb, here's what we found. Now, the Vento is 82,000 rupees cheaper spec for spec, top end to top end, and it does offer you a little bit more. But the Honda City really has the much better engine. It is more fuel efficient, it's got the more consistent ride, and it looks better as well. So, even if it's just by that hair's breadth, it's really the City that comes out ahead for us and still remains the king of the segment.